I'm Noelle Cristina. Welcome to Simply Yoga. And the pose that we're going to break down today is Marjaryasana, is the cat pose. So if you practice yoga, you're probably familiar with that pose. But here we're going to break it down, position of our hands, our head, our spine, our knees, our feet, everything. Let's go. So let's start setting up first our hands and knees. So let's go jump right into hands and knees. And let's start setting up our feet. So I want you to look to your feet and let your feet be aligned with your knees. So if your feet are too much in the middle, that's a no-no. Bring it to the alignment with the knee. If you see out of the sides, no. Bring it with the alignment with the knee. Here with this position, with the top of your feet on the floor, we are already starting to stretch your feet and your ankles. So this pose is also a really good stretch for the top of the feet and the ankle. Okay, so now let's check our knee. So our feet, ankle is aligned with the knee, and our knee is in alignment with our hips. So our hips are not leaning forward, like backward, when we are sitting down, or neither leaning forward. Our knee and hips are in alignment. So we have this beautiful shape here on our legs. Now let's check our hands and arms. So let's start with our arms. We need to have here a really beautiful line too, with our shoulder, elbow, and wrist. Sometimes a lot of people are leaning back, so that way your hips are not in alignment with your knee, neither your shoulder with your wrist. So lean forward a little bit. And a lot of people say leaning forward too much. So then whenever you do that, you lose the alignment with your knees and your hips too. So knees and hips in alignment, wrist, elbow, and shoulder in alignment. And here, don't overstretch your arm. A lot of people overstretch here and bring a lot of tension and can even hurt your elbow. So let your elbow be soft. Don't overstretch. Soft the elbow. Now let's check out our hands. So I'm going to show you my hands here. Whenever we are in the cat position, we wanted or either any kind of position with our hands on the floor, we wanted our hands wide open. And we want these bones on the base of our fingers be firm on the floor. So these bones that feels like little balls, and this part of our thumb, and this bottom of our palm. So those are the parts of our body that needs to touch the floor. Okay, and open your fingers wide. I personally found that is more comfortable and there's less pressure on my wrists when I turn my hands a little bit side to the side. So check it out. My fingers are not pointing all up like this. I turn a little bit to the side. So let's go back to the mat. Imagine that your middle finger is pointing towards the corner of your mat on both sides. Try that and see how it feels for you. Remember to press down on those bones that I just showed you, and also press down on the fingertips like you're doing a little house where the middle of your hand doesn't touch. There's a little space right there, okay? So you're sort of doing this weird position. This part doesn't touch. We touch this part, the fingertips, these bones, and then fingertips. And let's also pay attention on the distance of our hands. We don't want our hands wide open here. We want our hands as wide as our shoulders. So not even in, because if you bring it all the way in, it's not a really nice line. So it needs to be right under your shoulders and shoulders distance. Perfect. Whenever we set up our hands, knees, hips, and foot, we start rounding our back where our pelvis is on a posterior tilt. Our pelvis is moving in and not out, right? It's moving all the way in, pelvis in, chin to the chest, look to your belly button. Your shoulder blades rise all the way up. And with your hands, you press your hands firm on the floor and move the floor away from you so you can rise up even more. So your back is nice and round. Here, every time that you come to this pose, you exhale. Exhale and bring your belly button towards your spine. So your pelvis is in flexion, your cervical is in flexion, your abdomen is engaged, the muscles of your back and your spine are always stretching. Your arms are stabilizing your body. Your ankle is being stretched. Your legs are more relaxed. So this was cat pose, Marjaryasana. I hope you liked, and I hope you see you on our next Simply Yoga. Bye-bye.